trust issues, murder, and voting. No, this isn't political, but I'm just talking about a 240 megabyte game that released over 2 years ago. Hello everyone, my name is Shmenty, and this is how Among Us blew up overnight. Among Us isn't new. The game barely came out a month after Red Dead Redemption 2. That's right folks, this was in 2018. A lot of us think that Among Us just kind of came from nowhere at the end of summer of 2020, but this is over 2 years old. This game was an indie game that nobody really paid any attention to. It was the second game made by Innersloth Studios, and there was a 3-year gap between their last one, which was just a small browser game. It didn't blow up, and well over a year, by June 2020, there were about 14 dedicated streamers on Twitch, and it was getting about 174 views a month. Now, that's not the worst of the worst, but obviously that is tiny for a game that blew up to this size. Fast forward to today, and the game has millions of hours watched, gets millions of views on YouTube and Twitch a day, and is a king of streaming. But how did this game come out of nowhere and demolish what everyone thought was going to be the king of Twitch for much longer, Fall Guys? Well, I'm here to answer that. Picture yourself 2 years ago. Picture the dreams you had, the priorities you had. Put a tangible amount of time onto it. Now that was 2 years ago. You could have been a completely different person to the one you are today. On the day I'm recording this, Among Us was less than a month away from releasing. With no marketing, no hype, and no expectations, Innersloth Games released Among Us. Months, years went by to no avail. Granted, there was no expectations for this game to blow up, or even do well, but there was one thing that they had: persistence. The devs never stopped updating. Months going by with less than 100 reviews, they kept going. So many devs would have just given up and declared it a failed game, moved on, and created another one. But Innersloth Studios decided not to. If you can't respect that, I don't know what you can. If you break down the success of most games, you'll find that most of them have a lot in common. A few of the recent ones have a couple highlights on them. These are cartoony art, a good multiplayer, and player-created experiences. Take Fortnite for example. The cross-platform gameplay was really good for the time. The art style is iconic and one of a kind, and it has completely player-created gameplay. There's no linear storyline, it's all what happens with you and the other 99 players in your lobby. Among Us has all of these. Playing by yourself isn't really fun, especially when you're in a toxic lobby. The biggest part of this game by far is multiplayer. You pick a game that people enjoy to watch, give streamers the ability to get 10 of them inside of one lobby, and let's say each one of them is getting 10,000 viewers at a time. A small amount compared to what some of these streamers have been getting for Among Us. You pool all of those 10,000 viewers together and you have 100,000 viewers on one game. This recipe was a time bomb. It was waiting to explode, and when it did, this game took the world by storm. The idea of Among Us is nothing new. Trouble in Terrorist Town and Town of Salem play into the same multiplayer psychological thriller genre. But it goes back way further than that. When I was a kid, me and my friends would always play a game called Mafia whenever we had some free time. It's a simple game, a role-playing game that plays a lot like Among Us, except there's a detective as well as just the innocent crewmates, so to say. The fun of the game lay with the storyteller, where he could describe the brutal murders that happened and the clutch revenge of the detective finding him. It really made or broke the game. And Among Us plays just like that. Almost every single game you get into could be the climax of some thriller movie. Murder, deceit, lies, friendships, heartbreak. It sounds like a drama, but it's just a simple game. Another gigantic part of why this game is performing so well is the audience. It's everyone. The game is free to play on the App Store. Now, when we're looking at the largest games on the planet, rarely, if ever, are they free to play on the App Store as well as paid on the computer. It doesn't make sense. Why would someone pay? Well, on the App Store, you have ads on your phone, but they're really well done. It's after every game, it doesn't pop up mid-game, so it doesn't really affect you, and it saves you $5. But on PC, you don't get that, and you get much better controls, obviously way more point of views. It's just a better overall experience. You can cross-platform seamlessly between the two. Not to mention, it's one of the rare games that spectating is actually fun, so even when you get brutally murdered as a ghost, which is arguably the worst part of the game, is when you're dead and going around doing your tasks and you can't do anything. But it's way more fun than just sitting in a lobby waiting for everyone to finish. It's basically a godsend for Twitch streamers, because no matter what you're doing, it's entertaining, and you can talk about what you think, who you think the imposter is, etc. Each game of Among Us plays differently, and it really depends on who you play it with. Once you've played enough with a certain group of people, you learn characteristics about them. If they talk when they're crewmate a lot, and then the second they get imposter, they quiet down a lot, you can weed that out. If you know your buddy Tim over here turns off lights whenever he murders someone, you should probably go check for a body. All of this is combined into an enjoyable experience every single game. Not many games have this replayability. Either you'll get bored or you have a ton of fun, and there's no in between. This game, however, has it. I've never played a full game that didn't get my heart rate up once, whether that's even checking vitals and I see someone's dead and I have to go call a meeting because there's only 3 of us left, or it's getting chased by a murderer that wants to kill me. It's really just dependent on you, your friends, and what you do with each other. Now, there's no disputing that Fall Guys was the king of Twitch after it dropped in August 2020. It was fun, intuitive, cartoony, and got brutally murdered like a poor soul in electrical by a mouse. No, I know there was way more reasons for Fall Guys' death, such as a bad dev team, for example. But Among Us dethroned it in such a short amount of time that nobody really had any time to mourn. I never saw any tributes to Fall Guys, but Among Us is now completely the king. There's no other game that's going to take it for a bit, at least, until Cyberpunk 77 hopefully drops, but we'll see about that. I already have nostalgia for this game. I don't know what it is about it, but I've made some memories with my friends that I will never forget. I don't know what the future holds for this game, if it's going to die in a few months, or if it's going to stay around as a cult classic for the next few years. But all I do know is that sales are dropping and reviews are going down a little bit, and it might be dead in a month, but one thing's for sure. This game proves that you do not need to be a AAA company with a massive budget to create good, popular games. You need a dev team that cares, a good gameplay loop, and good multiplayer support. It's a beautiful game, and if you haven't played it yet, download it. Who knows, maybe you'll fall in love with it too. Thank you all so much for watching. I know I took a little break there for about a week recently, and I focused more on school and finishing up college applications. If you would be interested in me streaming, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, this has been Shmenty, and thank you so much for watching.